My name's Nicole. I'm the Manager of Operational Improvement for Fortescue up at our Anderson Point facility in Port Hedland. The Operational Improvement Manager role is an amazing role where I get to work within the business on looking at plant availability and reliability to ensure that we are actually meeting our targets to provide our customer with quality ore on spec. Part of that is to look at the process, so there's a certain component of engineering involved in that. There's also a component of culture change for our people. Part of that entails looking at how we actually do things better. So it is a business improvement role, and I feel very blessed to be able to touch different parts of the plant and have an impact on how that actually runs from a day-to-day perspective. In Port Hedland, I fly up from Perth on a Monday morning, then work until Thursday afternoon and fly back to Perth, get back to Perth about 8 o'clock on a Thursday evening. That allows me to have Friday, Saturday and Sunday off. So having 3 days off every week is pretty fantastic. Previous roles that I've had in the mining industry have been in the human resources field. Predominantly that looks at everything to do with resourcing, engagement and development of a workforce. So looking at things from attraction and retention strategies, recruitment policies, looking at training and development of our employees and engaging our employees so that they want to come to work and they're engaged when they're at work. And it's an amazing opportunity to really enhance an employee's experience when they're in the workplace. So having the ability to actually do that is a very blessed position because you get to talk to so many different people, deal with a variety of different issues from succession planning, talent management, from recruiting and all of those sorts of things. So yeah, very exciting. No day is the same. Every day you've got an opportunity to make someone's experience in the workplace better, whether that's through training, development, through employee engagement, so many different opportunities and that's the thing that I love, it's just the variation. But predominantly it's the people that you meet. It's such a diverse group of people from senior management to truck drivers to tradesmen, and everybody brings a different story and brings such a different element to the workday. I started at our flagship mine, Cloudbreak, and started in a human resources superintendent role. Was given the opportunity to lead human resources, training, Indigenous development, internal communications and contractor management. Then was promoted into the human resources manager role, and then from that point had made a conscious decision that I wanted to move out of the human resources side, and then was provided an opportunity to get more into operations. So I'm now in the operations improvement manager role. It's a very big challenge for me. To go from dealing with people who are extremely complex and bring so many different things to the table to more of a technical role, which is about equipment, it's about reliability, making sure that we have every part of the process working to ensure that we actually get the product out on time and on spec. One of the things that I love about being out there is that it is a real community feel, and we have pre-start meetings and partners sit next to each other while the information is given out in the morning before they head off for their day, and then they all get up and give each other a kiss and a cuddle and they go off to their trucks, and there's no sense of harassment or being ostracised because you're working with your partner or anything like that. So at the Cloudbreak operation we have 20% female participation rate, and majority of those actually are in partnerships, so young people coming up to get some experience in the mining industry and get on some trucks and some equipment. Traditionally mining is seen as something that is very blokey and very masculine, and that's certainly not the culture that we've got at Fortescue. Fundamentally, to work in human resources in the mining industry, it's critical to have the ability to talk to people and to engage with people. In the resources industry it's very important to have a very good knowledge of the operations and the operational requirements and what demands the operation puts on people. From a people perspective, it's just having empathy, it's having patience and dealing with people. Working in a FIFO arrangement, there's so many different personalities that you need to deal with. Everybody brings something different to the table. It's not just the people in the workplace, it's their families as well. So it's important to keep the family connected as part of our whole employee experience as well. But just a general interest in people and a very good sense of fun as well is pretty important. It's important to have a really good sense of adventure. The resources sector can take you to so many different parts of Australia, so many different parts of the world. It can certainly take you to places that you never even dreamed of. Having a sense of adventure is critical if you're going to be working in a remote area as well. It's a very big commitment to make, to live away from your family, away from your friends, to be working long hours. But all of those sacrifices are completely worth it because it is just such an amazing journey, and the people and the places that you get to go along the way is, it's a real privilege. So I've lived and worked in Broome, a little town called Leinster, the opportunity to work in Tanzania, which obviously then gave me an opportunity to travel quite extensively as well. I was able to travel through the Greek islands. I travelled through Africa, went on a couple of safaris in the Serengeti, to moving back into mainstream, so living and working in Melbourne. The consulting company that I worked for were international, so once again had the opportunity to do a lot of travel through South America, South Africa, up in Canada as well. So having a travel bug and working in the mining industry is a pretty good combination. Working in remote Pilbara is pretty amazing, on the doorstep of Karijini National Park. So going and swimming in waterholes on the weekends and exploring through there. And up in Port Hedland. So yeah, it's been a pretty amazing ride. In order to be successful in the resources industry, it's very important to have a very strong sense of self. A certain level of independence is really important as well, living away from home and working in very remote areas. Having the ability to engage with people at all different levels is important as well. To be successful in human resources, it's important to really like people and enjoy the different things that they bring to the table. Having the ability to liaise with people and communicate with people is critical. Being able to have a sense of fun. It's a difficult place to work at times, I won't lie to you about that. Sometimes there are difficult things that happen up on site, and in a HR capacity you need to be strong. You need to be supportive and be the guiding light in times of tragedy. It's very important that you do have a very strong sense of self and do have the ability to support people in times of need.